What's up, guys? Back for another AFM podcast, and today we have a very special guest. He's a household name, a legend, within the toy photography community, and he'll be our esteemed guest for today. He's none other than Mr. Jared Middleton, aka Sir Dork. No worries. But before we get to the serious questions for Jared, let's do a quick intro for the panel. Saeed, Sinister Collectibles, how are you, man?
Yeah, not bad, Mike. Hope your morning's going well.
Yeah, hope it's going well. Yeah, the kids are told the kids they're banished from the rooms because they're peeking through the door. Johnny, Photography Act, how are you, mate?
I'm good, thanks. How are you, Mike?
Yeah, good. And Drew from Tuggernaut, keeping it well?
Yep, still selling toys, man.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. But hey, let's get to while we're here. Jared needs no introduction to the toy photography community. You know, he's the man. He's obviously personally a big inspiration for mine. You know, and it'll be good to put him in the hot seat and ask him some questions. So what's been happening, Jared?
Super kind. I appreciate it so much. I'm happy to be here.
That's good, man. That's good. I'm seeing it's cool seeing you a lot more on Instagram now that you're full time.
Okay, that's good to know because I'm almost putting something out like almost every day now, which is almost like, geez, it's just something that people are gonna be like, oh my god, dude, another thing, just chill for a day. Like I've already seen, or is it the opposite? So that's good to hear that it's not over saturating, but it's so interesting how if you ever kind of like, I don't know, a lot of like social media people will be like, the best way to grow is posting every day or something wild like that, and typically I'd be like, oh my gosh, no, that's just too much. But apparently it's not, and that's, I guess, the way to go.
Yeah, that's
I guess we get our first cameo Venom.
Yeah, he wherever I go, he goes apparently. So yeah, here he is.
Yeah, I see Venom's doing a lot more handling. How is he handling the stardom these days?
His ego is just keeps getting, it's through the roof. It's just like he can't get enough of it. And yeah, he's definitely got way more love in the comments than I do, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Man, that is cool. So I've just been noticing you've been doing a lot more toy hunts recently. Have you found anything cool, or have you, like, when you visit these places, are they kind of remote? Like, do you have to travel far to go to these places, or are they kind of within your driving distance?
Well, it's really interesting because this whole toy hunt thing has like become so much more than I ever really thought. Because when I went full time with doing this kind of thing, the toy hunt was like, oh, I should do these toy hunts because it's easy content. All you have to do is hold my phone up in the store and see what's in there, essentially, and edit that and throw it up. And which is true, it is much easier, but it's amazing to me how many people tune in to see it. And I get it, because like when you're watching a toy hunt, you're like, ooh, what's he gonna find? Or it's like, oh, what does this person's Target look like versus mine, or Walmart, or whatever. And it's really cool because it's been like an enjoyable, easy thing for me to throw up, and I'm just surprised with how many people enjoy it. But I've been doing a lot of traveling lately. Sorry, my camera will do that once almost every time I do it. But I've been doing a lot of traveling recently, not super far, but here and there. And so while I'm at it, I'm like, you know what, I might as well just stop at the local places, which is cool because it's great for the content. And plus, I'm not going to the same store over and over again. Oh, it's the same Lando or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's been working out.
We've got a store here called Myers. It's like a department store.
Okay.
And I think they only buy select figures, but they buy like a ton of it. So when you go in. And anyway, my Myers, I don't know about you guys. I go in there and I see like 50 Darth Vaders of the same one of the same line.
Yeah.
And there's like nothing else. So it's just never any joy for me when I go to those type of places.
Yeah, I know the feeling. But it definitely, I don't know if it's just my area, but I remember maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, Walmart and all these places would just be horrible every time. But it definitely seems like they're getting better. Like they've stepped it up and there's more stock. I don't know if that's just my area or what, but that does seem to be getting better.
No, that's cool. Did you make the trip to SDCC? I know it's on the other side of the country.
Yeah, I've never been.
It's a big venture for you.
I plan on it though. I've always wanted to. But yeah, I've never been. One of my brothers lives in San Francisco, and to me, I'm like, oh, California. That's close enough, but it's also 8 hours away. It's like, wow, California is a big state. But I am going to New York Comic Con in October.
Okay.
Which, that's only a couple hour drive for me, so that's great.
Yeah, certainly we don't get anything like that.
8 hours like traveling to a different country for us, man.
Man, I'm super fortunate to be where I'm going. This is what Venom does. On and off camera is knock things over, but super fortunate to like where I am. Just like there's plenty to choose from when it comes to stores and places. Yeah, it's just definitely a good place to be as far as that's concerned.
I think on the flip side for us is I know a lot of the guys have spoken about pre-orders. I think who was it? I know you've spoken about how difficult it is sometimes with pre-orders, how they just sell out. That I don't understand how pre-orders can sell out. And I know who's it? Rocco the Great. Rocco he complains that sometimes the pre-orders sell out. We generally don't have issues. Like I've never really come an issue about with pre-orders.
I've heard
selling out online within Australia anyway. So I guess that's one thing that's
right. I've gotten some comments, especially from like UK guys too. They're like, that's so funny to hear that your Hasbro Pulse sells out that quickly. There's still plenty in stock in mine, and it's been like a week. And it's like, well,
I think the first one that you mentioned was the Yoda and Gree 2-pack from Hasbro.
I made a big stink about that.
Yeah, no, that was peg warming for a while, I think. So.
That is so funny. That's so funny.
Yeah. Here the Target exclusives are like packed everywhere. Like Jean Grey, Professor X Savage Land. There's a lot, but in the YouTube comments they complain that there's nothing there in the Target stores in America.
Really? That's really funny because I've been finding nothing but Jean Grey. Like anytime I go to this Target, I just see like one peg with like 6 or 7 Jean Greys. But even if it's not necessarily something I'm interested in, it's definitely something someone else will be interested in. And so I'm glad they're there. So if anybody wants them, they'll be there for them.
Sounds good. All right, let's get into the meaty bits. We'll ask Jared some questions. So we've got some questions for you. We've got some questions for you, and I'll kick things off. I think, personally, again, you've been a big inspiration, for the start of my kind of toy photography journey. And I still remember a quote that you said, how sometimes you kind of you focus more on the output of the photograph, kind of more than the actual figure itself, and that kind of resonated with me because I would say I'm a photographer first, and then a collector second.
Cool.
But the question is, how did you get into this hobby and into collecting? And how did it all kind of start about?
To be honest, it's pretty much the same story as anybody. It's probably the same kind of story as any of you guys. It's I just started kind of getting into collecting. I just was very into it. And then as far as toy photography is concerned, I just started using Instagram to just personally, and through posting just, oh, here's a new figure. I kind of discovered what toy photography was through the algorithmic powers of Instagram. And I'm like, wow, this is cool. Like, these guys are taking pictures. These are like out in the dirt, like with these figures and his action. Like, that's so cool. I want to do that. And so I just gave it a try. And then I just started doing it, and I fell in love with it. It's just the power of the internet.
Did you get any inspiration from using practical effects? Because I think you were the you were the trendsetter for using fireworks, especially with fireworks, right? Like with pyro, I was like so jealous you guys get to have access to that stuff.
It's so funny.
Crushing sparklers, putting them in, putting a sparkler bomb and doing those stuff because we can't get access to any of that stuff.
It seems like a pretty good method, though. Punching up the sparklers, that seems like a pretty good method.
Just unfortunate.
That's just what we can do. And I remember talking to a friend of mine. I said, I'm doing this as a bit of a hobby, and he's like, there's a fire ban, right? And I'm like, oh, okay. So maybe I should stop doing that during summer.
Yeah. Well, when I first really was getting into it, and the fireworks really got me going. There are two big inspirations. The first one was Sergeant Bananas, who is still very prominent on Instagram, but he's not so active. I think he still photographs toys for a living. But at the time, he was doing these hard war shots of stormtroopers and fireworks. And they were so cool, and they still are. Like, sometimes I'll just scroll back to see the things that inspired me, and it was just so cool. And that was a huge inspiration. And there was another guy, his name is Jesse, but his handle was Everything Kylo, and he doesn't post anymore, unfortunately. But his page is still there, and you could go and find it. And you're like, oh yeah, okay, I see where Jared would have gotten it from, because it's like. It's just these really cool action stuff. Yeah, super, super cool. So yeah, I was inspired by those guys. So me using the fireworks or whatever, I'm certainly not the first one or any of that. I just was inspired like everybody else was, and I got into it.
Nice. That is awesome.
Awesome.
That is awesome. All right, second question. Obviously you've kind of made it known that you've taken the leap of faith, to pursue this full time and dedicate yourself to this. What was that that turning point when you decide, this is the career kind of path that I really wanted to go down?
I feel like the turning point. For the longest time, I never thought I would be able to like I always wanted to be a professional toy photographer, whatever. But I never really thought that YouTube would be the thing to make that possible. I just didn't see like myself getting to that point. But there was a time, I don't know, maybe like a year and a half or maybe 2 years ago, where I feel like I kind of figured out the thing I needed to do, like the formula. I don't want to say I figured out YouTube, because that's like, if I figured out YouTube, I would have millions.
Yeah, that's
right.
So
I figured out what I need to do. And a good formula that works. And then once I figured it out and I went heavy into that, I saw everything start going up, including the money that was coming in from YouTube. And then I was like, okay, I might actually be able to do this. And then there was also a little bit of mixture of like, I was in a really weird situation where like there was a huge necessity for me to have more money. I was just in a weird financial situation. So I was like, well, this is making me money, so if I go even harder into this, that'll help my financial situation. So there's a little bit of a necessity that forced me to dive into it also.
Definitely.
And that helped. And so in 2025, like for New Year's, I was like, I have this many goals for this year, and one of them was I want to quit my job and be in a place where I can quit. And then it's funny too, because at my current job, they needed to do a lot of, position rearrangements, which I was a supervisor at this health insurance place, whatever. And which meant one supervisor needed to be relocated, which meant, well, okay, maybe this is my time to quit, which was a good time.
It all worked out. So, what does a typical day look like for you now that this is your 9 to 5?
Well, every day is quite great because I am really doing what I love every day. And at my old job, it was a stable job, but I wasn't passionate about it. But every day I feel pretty good about it. But the way I usually will split I go week to week kind of. I'm like, okay, this week I'm gonna do this many videos. I'm gonna do a video on the Doom McFarlane, and then I'm going to do a video on this thing because I have this. So then I'll film everything I need to film for the actual video filming of the videos on my counter where I'm unboxing and doing the review. And then I'll spend the rest of the week editing and traveling to locations for the photography aspect. And then I'll try to have one video ready for Thursday, one video ready for Sunday, and then sometimes, depending on how ambitious I am, another video ready for Saturday too. And so once the week is done, then next week is like, okay, which ones am I doing this week? And I'll just kind of go week to week.
Nice.
I don't think you'll ever fall short of content, right? It's always.
I mean, luckily with how much stuff comes out, there's just an unlimited amount of action figures. And even more, there's new brands coming. It's just so much. So luckily being in a position where I'm in, a lot of places will just send me figures. So I don't have to pay for all of them, which is really nice too, because those costs really add up, even if I can report it as an expense on my taxes, which is great. It still can quite add up, but
it does.
It's a really nice what's the word I'm looking for? Symbiotic relationship, like with a toy store, like Entertainment Earth. I work with a lot, and like Calcus, and they just like, do you want this? And I'm like, sure, and they send it to me, and then I make the video, and it works for them because they get a lot of great free advertisement, and just for the price of one figure. And then it works for me because I need the figures to make stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Sounds good. All right, number 3, Drew.
Yeah. Hey, Sir Dork, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Yeah. I started toy photography just Googling YouTube. I mean, trying to find out in YouTube, and you're the first guy that shows up, and I've learned a lot from your setup, especially how you focus the lights and all that stuff.
That's amazing. Thank you for watching them. Thank you. You're the one helping me out by watching it. Trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also a small YouTuber as well, so I'm still in the infancy stage compared to how big you are right now.
Well,
so
that's where everyone starts.
Yes. So I'm just wondering, when you were setting up a shot, I mean, what was the biggest challenge you faced when starting your YouTube channel? Right now you have 336K subscribers, so that's amazing. So how did you overcome it, and how's it going now?
When I first started, I didn't have a whole lot of crazy goals. Like I wasn't like, okay, how do I get 300,000 subscribers right now? I was just kind of like, let's make some videos. And the way I kind of looked into it was how many people are making like tutorials for toy photography on YouTube, like how to do this, how to do this, how to do this. And I mean, it would be kind of pretentious for me to pretend that nobody else was doing it. I'm sure there are probably plenty of people doing it, and there are still. There's other great toy photography tutorials out there besides mine. But there wasn't a lot of it, so it seemed like almost a little bit of an opportunity. So I was like, all right, I'll do this, even though I don't feel as though I'm an expert in toy photography, especially at the time. I was still relatively new. I was like, let me just. This is how you keep your figures standing. This is how you do fireworks. This is how you do this. And that slowly started to catch on, and people would watch them. And so I didn't have crazy goals like that at first. I just thought like, oh, well, this is what I'm somewhat good at. Let me just go for it. But I guess the the tips I think that I would give now is more the thing that's going to make your channel be unique to anybody else's channel is you. Whoever, and so just add as much of your own personality to it as you can, and it's sometimes it takes a little bit for that personality to naturally come out in front of the camera, especially if you're not doing it so often. But just be you, and be you so much in the video. And if you record something, you're like, "Well, I sounded really stupid. I'm going to cut that out." Don't cut it out. Leave it in, because it could be gold. It could be really funny to somebody else, even though it might feel weird. Hearing your own voice is like, but dive right into that. And then even emphasize it or something. And so that's definitely some of the things that will make your channel stand out is you, and adding as much of you into it as possible.
Okay, so did you start with photography first or YouTube, or was it the other way around?
I was doing just toy photos on Instagram for a while, and then I kind of realized how big YouTube is. Like, I didn't really realize how massive of a platform it is. And then once I kind of figured that out, I was like, oh, I would be silly to not try YouTube. And so then I started out like doing the photography or toy photography tutorial videos. And I don't do them quite as much anymore. I do more of like the reviews plus the photography. They're called the shooting and reviewing videos. And the only reason I've shifted that is because I've learned that the mass population of people care more about Spider-Man than they do about how to take a picture of Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like, just the psychology of that. Like, they see a property they recognize, and that makes them want to click, like Spider-Man. So if I make a video about Spider-Man, and then at the end it's like, well, now I'm going to take a picture of Spider-Man. And so they kind of get looped into the whole photography segment inadvertently, thinking, oh, Spider-Man, but this is cool too. Kind of thing, I guess.
Yep, I love it when you show your light position as well while Venom is running around and all that. It gives me an idea of how you do it, even with Venom around. So it's amazing.
As annoying Venom can be sometimes, I love him, and it's actually like, it's pretty funny. So like, I'm glad he's making the videos hopefully a little bit more interesting having him in there.
Well, thanks for that, and let's go to the next question then.
Yes, Sir Dork. So I've got an interesting question for you. Like, so this is a question a lot of people struggle to answer. So let's say there's a like natural disaster happening, like in your house or something, like, and you've got to run out of the house, grab Venom and whoever else is in the house, and you have to grab three of your action figures. Like, you can't, obviously, when you're running from a fire or earthquake, you can't take a lot of stuff. Like, so what would be those three action figures that you'd be grabbing?
Well, the first thing I would do is grab all of them.
That's not even possible.
Cheating. Well, I would grab Venom. I have two cats. I have Toxin also, but Toxin doesn't show up much in the video. So I grab them. Yeah. And so I probably would grab. So I have a hot toy of the Stormtrooper that I like so much that I use for my logo and everything. So I have a hot toy of him, and he's got a lot of sentimental value because like all of the logos and stuff I make are just photos of him that I've just like done a lot of editing to. It's all him. Yep. It's all that one guy. So I'd probably grab him. Man, what else would I grab? Probably a lot more of the big stuff. I'd probably grab the most expensive ones. So I've got some of the Infinity Studio, like Pacific Rim. So maybe I would grab those because they're like they're super expensive.
Yeah.
So, and I have two of those. Those be the three. I mean, I guess that's so quick. I grab one of those.
Cats in one hand and the action figures on the other side. Like, yeah.
Okay, I would grab one of those Infinity Studio, and then maybe I would grab. I have a Mondo Doom figure that I really like. That's one that I really. So I'd probably grab those three, and they're all 1/6 figures, which is weird because I'm primarily not so much 1/6.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what I do.
There you go. We've successfully identified three of your most favorite figures in your collection.
Man, I'm gonna have a nightmare tonight because of that question. gonna happen in my dreams, and I'm gonna watch everything burn.
Yeah.
Guys,
That's a good question,
if you haven't seen, Jared's got an episode where he goes through his collection, and it's massive. You know, it's got
a lot of junk.
Shells. And I thought to myself, I'm like, oh man, is that a sneeze away from disaster? Some of them are not, most of them are just standing, and I'm like,
yeah,
the dusting, the dusting would be crazy.
It's
How do
awful.
you tackle that? How do you tackle that?
That's the only way I can. Well, first of all, I just don't dust them often. That's what I don't, not enough. They get pretty dusty, but you just got to take them off, and you got to dust, and then you got to put them back. It's just like, it's awful.
Did you sometimes get to a point where you think, oh man, I have too much stuff? You freak out.
God. Like every day. That's what goes through my head. But I do actively like try to like, okay, these ones I don't need so much anymore. And like, I get piles of like ones I'm ready to get rid of. And sometimes I'll do different toy shows and I'll sell that. Or I have a local toy shop that will buy them off me for store credit. And I'll just like drop them off.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. But one thing I struggle with, Sir Dork, is how will I do comparison videos without the old ones? Like,
right?
So that's why it's hard to sell them.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good point. That is something I that comes across my mind a lot is, I don't want to get rid of the old one because I still want to have the old one when I have the video of the new one so I can stick it in the... Yeah, that's such a great point. Yeah. It's a conscious decision that I have to make.
Awesome.
Sounds good. All right, what do we got for the next one?
Yeah. One thing I struggle about making content in YouTube is, do I think about it first or do I shoot it first? Like, for you, I noticed that you do B-rolls. I assume that you like voice over after you've shot everything. But for example, in YouTube or in a photo, when you start doing something, do you start with a story first? Or do you let the action figure or the environment inspire you on what the story will be?
I think there are definitely times where I'm not totally sure about what I want to shoot with this figure yet, and I'll just go and figure it out on the spot. But most of the time, it's a little bit more planned out like that than that. Like, if I have so for instance, I just finished a video for the CT Toys bootleg figures that are going around. They did the Batman Hush one, so I have a video coming out for that on Sunday, and I was struggling to figure out what I wanted to do, but eventually I figured it out, and I planned like a vision in my head, like pops up in there. So I go to the location and I try to just reenact and set up exactly what's in my head, and that does actually help. With when I'm setting up too, it helps like really like it's the more planned out I am, the more I'm able to set up and do exactly what I need to do. And then it also helps with the post-production too. If I'm editing, then I know like, okay, so I need to do this. So I need to photograph it like this. So then when I edit, I can do this a little bit more. So the more planned out I am in my head, the easier it ends up being. And I'm on kind of like a time crunch every week now too. So I try to plan it out as best as I can in my head for as far as the photography is concerned.
I think the idea of planning it within your head kind of helps when the inspiration is not there, because that's one thing I noticed about myself. Like, I still push myself to do it even if I'm not inspired. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely makes sense. I feel like that's kind of the same thing for me too. And sometimes I'll kind of rely on the identity of the character. Like if it's Batman, I'm like, okay, well, the figure is Batman, so I need to do something that would work for Batman so I don't want to shoot him in the forest or something. So like I'll kind of force my mind to be thinking that way, which does kind of help.
All right. Thanks for that, Sir Dork. I guess we're off to the next one.
Cool. Sounds good.
So, Sir Dork, which of the upcoming action figures release are you most excited about to add to your collection?
Don't say Maximum Series Deadpool.
I'm not. That's definitely not highest on my list, but I am pretty excited for it.
Right.
I really like the Spider-Man. I didn't like the Hulk so much, but I really liked the Spider-Man. But what am I most excited for? I was pretty excited for the McFarlane Doom figure because I'm a big fan of that franchise. But I have that on the shelf now, so that doesn't count. But I'm also like I'm pretty excited for the McFarlane Fallout figures, which is weird.
Yes.
Yeah, like I wouldn't typically think like, wow, my most anticipated thing is a McFarlane because I like McFarlane, but it's very rare when they'll have something that I'm really looking forward to. And I think the reason why the Fallout ones I'm really looking forward to is because I've been like begging the action figure gods for Fallout action figures for as long as I can remember. And then so now we're finally getting them. And they look really good too. So I'm very excited for those. And that's pretty soon too. Those are coming out.
I haven't seen any images yet, unfortunately. I should have a look at them. I wish I did.
They look pretty good. So there's 3 of them, right? There's a power, just a power armor one. If you're familiar with the Fallout franchise, there's just like a normal 260 power armor, which looks really good. And that one should be hitting shelves soon, I guess. And then there's Lucy from the show, the main character. And then
let's see.
And then there's an NCR Ranger from Fallout New Vegas, if you played that one. Those are the only 3 that have been officially revealed, and they're on pre-order and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
You've already done that.
There they are.
Oh,
there they are.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I'm excited for them, but like, so this is their Elite series, which with the power armor and the NCR Ranger and the Doom figure, I get why they're like $50 or $60. But the Lucy one, I'm struggling to see how that one is at the 50 to 60 price range. I'm struggling to see because that one's got the paint looks good on him. There's a lot of accessories. I get it.
Oh, a lot of accessories there.
And I'm
Is there
assuming,
a preview of Lucy to see what she comes with?
Yeah, there she is. She comes with some stuff, but like I think of the Superman that McFarlane just put out. That's got a dog. It's got crypto. It's even got a wired cape. It's got hands and heads, and that one's $35. Why is she $50?
Cheap.
So unless there's some really new, as far as the sculpt and the engineering of the figure, maybe there's something there that I don't know. I don't know. I like McFarlane, but I'm a little apprehensive about that as far as she's concerned. Even though she looks good, and I'm very excited for that figure.
I mean, at least she's getting a few accessories. Like we've seen the Mortal Kombat figures come with nothing. Like they're still costing the same amount. Like
yeah, that's true. I didn't realize. Yeah, because they come with like a couple hands, and that's it, right? The Mortal Kombat ones.
Not even hands. Like I think, like just the figure itself. Like
really, they don't have hands. I thought they did.
Just
man, yeah, and they're like.
I was looking forward. Yeah, I was looking forward to those MK figures because the Storm versions are so hard to get now because they've been released and they're so expensive, right? So I thought, when McFarlane brought these out, I'm like, this is my chance. And when I saw them, I was like, ooh, they look a bit rough around the edges.
Really? So is it just the lack of accessories, or is it the figures themselves that don't look good to you?
I think they like aesthetically they look okay, but I think when you look at them in detail a little bit, you can see a little bit of flaws. And obviously, in terms of their accessories, is minimum to none.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the accessories are pretty, especially considering the previous McFarlane Mortal Kombat. They would come with stuff like Sub-Zero came with like the 2 ice axes, right? That's something. I would prefer hands over that stuff any day, but very interesting.
Cool.
I think also it depends, right? It depends what you need the figures for. What is the purpose for the figures? Because I feel certain look and certain brands they project better in a photography, in a photograph. And I don't know if that's because of you when you use matte spray to kill that shininess of those figures, it just makes them a little bit more realistic.
It does a lot.
Rather than and it, you know, in terms of the light and absorbing of the light, it doesn't look so plasticky. And I think some companies just do better in that than others. But again, as a collector, if you're just collecting them, you know, so you're happy for them to be on the shelves, I think, you know, that will be okay. But it just really depends on the fit for purpose that you need or you want those figures for.
100%. Yeah, yeah, because everyone's got a different purpose. Especially, we have a pretty unique purpose. You know, I feel like the photography aspect that we do is pretty unique amongst most people that are buying just to put on the shelf or collect or whatever.
Cool. Unfortunately, those the ones that, you know, the ones that actually look good for photography, they probably cost more. That's that's unfortunately the downside.
You're absolutely right. Yep, just the way it is.
All right, what's the next one?
All right, Sir Dork, let's focus more spotlight on you. So we'll take a look at your Instagram account. So
okay, cool.
Here we go.
Sounds good.
If you can talk us over with what you have here. So, of course, amazing photography.
Wow.
I think my favorite would be this Godzilla thing. I've seen your video, how you did it. It was amazing. Like, he looks so huge in this
really
photo.
Okay. It's so with something with Godzilla, like, yeah, my goal is always I want him to look really huge because he's Godzilla, and that's always, you know, challenging. But it's hard for me to see him objectively because I know I took it, you know, so it can't always feel big to me because I'm not seeing it for the first time. Like, oh, there he is, like this, you know what I mean? So hearing you say that, like, he looks really big I'm so glad. Because this little location that I've found that's actually really close to my house is great for kaiju because there's nothing in the background, you know, because Godzilla is huge. There shouldn't be anything bigger than him in the background, you know. And the little rock formations are cool. They kind of look like little mini mountains. So I'm a little bit lucky with that right there. But
and how crisp the reflection of Godzilla on the water is. It's amazing, man.
Thanks.
Amazing.
I was very happy with that too. So, and the key to get the good reflection is just a bright day and not a lot of clouds. Because the more clouds you have in the sky, then the water just becomes white because it's just. But if it's a really clear day and it's blue, then the water will look a little bit less just white, I guess. But the sunlight really helps.
Amazing tip. I'll surely
I think
remember that.
I think what Jared does well, especially on a super bright day, is being able to compile a series of photos and merging it into one, to photo stack it. Because
thanks,
you know, where depending on which angle you take, right, the subject can be quite dark, and I can see you use your reflector there to cover those areas, right? Because, you know, when we look at your tutorials, I know that, you know, the first few times I looked at it, I'm like, oh, he's just got a reflector. Let's just, you know, to kind of copy what he's doing. But it doesn't necessarily translate to what you have expected that photo to look like. So, you know, trying to work on those angles and those reflectors to capture, the front of the subject can be quite tricky.
Yeah, it is. The reflector is it's like one of the most simplest things, but it's so incredibly effective. Like I'll usually try to I'll try to position the sun behind the figure, and that gives a kind of a cool effect. But then the reflector I can use it to bounce it back on the front, so I get the cool effect, and I've still got enough light on the figure, even though it's not always realistic. Like why are there two light sources in this outdoor area? That makes no sense. But who cares? It just looks cool.
So I've got a question. I know you've taken hundreds of photos. If you can narrow it down to top two of your favorite photos, top two.
Oh man.
I would say top one, but you know, I think you're top one. Like you're your best. a favorite photo would be really hard. Or is there a standout that you really really like?
Well, I mean, it's definitely hard, which is a good thing. But that Superman one with my fist punching, the more recent one, I think that's my favorite one I've done this year. Is that one? I'm very proud of that one, and that was a redo of an old one I did a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was very happy with that. And there's another one I have of the Mandalorian, and he's like walking straight, and he's shooting a stormtrooper without looking. He's just kind of like acting all cool. It's a little bit down there, but
I think I remember this shot.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Just I don't know what it is. It's just like sometimes it's a good representation of all the things that I love about it. Or actually, the most recent Mandalorian photo I did might be up there too, which isn't that far. I think it's coming up. Or did you already pass it? I don't remember. It's just like, it is up a little bit. That's a good one too. But if you go up a little bit, it should be around April or May. It's just like explosions going on, and Grogu is on his shoulder. That's the one. Yeah, I'm very proud of this one too. This one, I feel like this is a good representation of all my favorite things. These are my two favorite Star Wars characters. I like fireworks. It's just like, this is it right there.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think my personal favorite. No, that's awesome. They're obviously really, really good selections. The one that stands out for me personally is the photo that you did with the Bat Pod, and you've got the police cop car in the background flying, and then there's the explosions on it, and you did it on the road.
Oh,
it's an old photo. Yeah, that's the one that really stands out. I just love the angle of it, because it's really like the perspective is really low to the ground, and you've added a bit of blur effect to create that sense of movement.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
there's been.
Yeah, that's the one that kind of stands out.
That was one I did. I did that photo for Warner Brothers when The Flash was coming out, and it was challenging because they wanted me to. I was using these really inexpensive kids' toys. They were like Spin Master, like $5 toys. So that was very challenging trying to do something really cool with these figures that they are not super high quality like these. So that means a lot. That's really cool. Awesome. Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Everybody's green. The theme is green for this one.
Nice.
All right, the next one.
You must, or just quickly before we move on, and I remember talking to you about this, Jared, about the amount of light sources you have to have your subject so clear, especially when you're shooting indoors. So just kind of explain what your setup is like. I know you have a couple of light panels. Like how do you set something up indoors? And what light sources do you use?
Well, one thing I'll have to say is I don't like those ones like indoors, like on my counter. I'm not dealing with any kinds of cool environments or dioramas or anything, so lighting them is very easy. So if I had a complicated diorama with props and stuff, lighting it becomes that much more difficult because there's all kinds of stuff going on. So I'm taking the easy way out with just fooling around with a couple things on my counter like that. But I have a couple of like desk style Lume Cube LEDs that are great, and I just keep them there for when I film my YouTube stuff there anyway. And then I'll grab some other LED like Lume Cube panels, and I try to just have the entire like rim, this rim lighting is what I'm trying to achieve, but I'll try to have lighting from behind, like there's like a little arch of lighting around them. So every little bit of them has this like super stark rim of light around them, which makes them really pop. And the combination of the little desk lamps and stuff really, really help. And like if you had that one photo up that you had before, you should be able to see that little arch of lighting behind them. And
cool.
Yeah, and I don't really always necessarily have a very like, oh, I always do this every time. It's kind of just like I'll just move it around until it looks good. Like, how about here? How about here? How about here? That looks good.
Nice.
Yeah, you know.
That's awesome.
All right.
Okay,
so Doug, I'd like to ask you a question. What's your primary focus in your collection? Is it Marvel, DC, Star Wars, or anime?
It's interesting because a lot of the figures that I will buy now aren't necessarily always fueled by the love I have for them. A lot of it's fueled by the stuff that gets the most views. Like my favorite thing is Star Wars is always number one, but I rarely do any Star Wars anymore because nobody really cares about Star Wars right now. It's not doesn't get the clicks, but Spider-Man does. Spider-Man, Deadpool does. People and Hulk, people are really in. Like Marvel is still so strong right now that I do a lot of that. But the things as far as my personal collection goes, Star Wars is always a huge one. DC is one of my favorites, and Pokemon. I'm a really big Pokemon fan. So
nice.
Yeah, I'll try to focus on those. And then there's a couple of small things that I'll really get excited about. Like something like Doom, for instance, is like I really love those games. There's not a lot of figures of Doom, but
no, not yet.
Right, there's a couple, but it's
just
still
a couple.
Yeah, it's but mostly those three are really what fuels me. But the Marvel stuff really piles up, and I've got some anime, I've got some Dragon Ball, but it's mostly those three.
I'm a Dragon Ball fan.
Yeah, but the thing was, like, Dragon Ball is probably as a child, as a kid growing up, that was one of my biggest loves. I was obsessed with Dragon Ball Z. And then I feel pretty good with my collection right now. It's like, I've got all the Gokus and the Vegetas and Trunks and Gohan. I've got them. It's like, I don't know. I'm wearing like a Majin Vegeta shirt. But it's weird. I don't feel the same fuel to collect them. It's weird how that works out. I don't know.
It's all right.
What about what's your main ones that you go for with your collection?
Me, bit of everything, like Storm collectibles, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter.
Oh yeah. So
Mayfix, Marvel, DC.
So you're excited for those new ones then?
Yes, and also the SH figure art, Naruto, Dragon Ball.
Okay,
yeah, so
nice.
I do have the new Storm Arena Ken, and I just got my invoice for Storm Arena Ryu as well.
Right. I've been seeing a lot of people getting excited about them. There's been a decent amount of those of Street Fighter stuff, and I'm very happy with the like Jada Toys ones. But the Storm Arena ones, I don't know. Like those ones aren't pulling me in. Like I feel good with the Jadas. I don't know.
Oh, fair enough.
I'm the same.
That's all right.
I'm the same.
Cool. So, okay, we'll move on to the next one. Mike, would you like to?
Question 9. Question 9 is about our platform, Action Figure Maniacs. I think we're relatively new to the scene. We've really started to make a push just to provide another avenue for the people in the community to post their work and get some love and get some recognition, because we all got to start from somewhere.
Yeah.
And how have you seen the AFM's role in the community, and how do you see benefit as people starting out?
I mean, I think I remember when I was first starting out, and the very rare occasions where like one of my photos would get featured on like on one of the accounts. What was the big one at the time? I don't think they're active anymore. It was like something Alliance. I don't remember what, but like I remember they featured one of mine, and I was like, oh my god, like this is the best day of my life. And it's just like one of those one of you guys being the one to share it, but like if you're just starting out and you get that share, like that's a huge deal. And like getting that recognition, because when you're first starting out, it's really hard to get any recognition because you got to start
Really
from nothing, so like that's a really huge deal. And I think with you guys, like because there's like a handful of feature accounts, that kind of thing. Like honestly, the more of them exist, the better. And everyone has their own kind of cool style of like with themes and like I know you guys do a lot of the like collab post kinds of stuff, and that's just such a huge deal. Like like being featured and seeing other people really like taking a notice to your photos it totally changes somebody's day. So I think that's like
absolutely
so awesome.
Absolutely. And I kind of feel the same way when you do your monthly. Obviously, you don't do them anymore. When you do the monthly streams, and people get, and I've been fortunate enough to be on there as well.
A few times, probably a lot of times.
Yeah, thank you. And obviously from a personal kind of stance sometimes, because it always happens. Most occasions, it always happens on a Friday night, your time, and Saturday morning, kind of our time. And I'm like, oh, he's the stream's on. So sometimes like I'll put it on the TV as a background, just waiting to see, to see what photos are on there. And sometimes the kids go up there and they sit. They're like, oh, this photo is so cool,
Oh, that's so cool.
They're like, oh, yeah. So sometimes my kids get into it and see and have a look and see what photos come up. But I thought that was a good platform, and it really, especially when you're starting out, can really make someone's day.
So much, yeah, it really does. So the work you guys are doing is so essential, and it affects a lot of people really positively.
No, that's good. Thank you.
And thank you. So you guys 10? Are the ones doing it. You guys are putting in the work. It takes a lot of work doing all that.
Yeah. It definitely takes a lot of work. Organizing, even with the collaborations that we have internally. Having time to compile images and make sure that everyone's sticking to the guidelines, and everyone's being respectful in the chat. So it's not only just to collaborate in the photos, in the chat group. Obviously setting up the images, and getting ready to post on the day, coming up with themes. There's a lot of work in the background that kind of happens.
Yeah, it's a lot. So you're definitely doing the great work.
Sounds good. Thank you. Okay, number 10. Drew?
Yeah, last question is a bit touchy and a bit, I think.
Oh boy.
So I started out collecting only Marvel Select. Then I started the YouTube channel. Then I say, just stick with X-Men and Spider-Man and all that stuff. And it just blew out of proportion. So do you have an advice for new collectors, especially those interested in toy photography that's starting their journey?
I would say, and maybe this is easier said than done. As far as collecting goes, there's no rule that you have to follow as a collector. If you want to collect Star Wars, you can collect different brands if you want. You can collect just the one. If you want one clone trooper, that's fine. You don't have to have all the other ones, and it doesn't have to be a specific one. If it works for you, that's fine. If they have a whole, if they come out with all the Power Rangers, if you just like the Blue Ranger, you can just get the blue. You don't have to get them all. Like there's always something deep down that says like, oh, I have to get them all. There's a really difficult but simple decision. It's like I really do only need to just get the things that I really want, because sometimes just by association we just end up buying things that we think we need, even though we don't actually always want that thing. So just doesn't matter what it is. If this just one thing you want, just get that. You don't have to do it. There's no rules. You don't have to stick by any rules to match your scale or this. You can if you want, but you don't have to. Just whatever makes you happy that's important. Just do what makes you happy.
Yeah, I think that's one concern about the Maximum series. Like, it feels like people are like they're required to buy it, even if they don't like.
Right. That's
then
such a
they
great
argue
point.
about the price.
That's like such a great thing. It's like, yeah, you don't have to get it, and if you do, that's great, and if you don't, that's great too. Because there's definitely like have definitely been a few instances where I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna get the one from this wave, and that's fine, or I'm not gonna get any of these, and then like it's been kind of freeing actually, thinking that like it's a collector mentality, like, oh, we'll have to have all of them. You don't. If you just get the one, you'll be fine. You know, it's weird. You know, it sounds
weird.
easy.
Yeah,
but
it's I think it's definitely a collector's mentality. You know, when I have conversations with with a collector as opposed to a photographer, you know, when people say to me, they're like, oh, you know, how could you not have Leo, Raph, or Donnie, but only have Mikey? You know,
right?
Like, oh, just because I can.
Yeah.
You know, I just resonate with, you know.
Perfect example.
But obviously, yeah, people, yeah, especially with collectors, they have to have things in the same way, in the same brand. But it just really depends. I personally, I've made this shift towards not the unbranded or the third-party companies. Yes, they cost a little bit more and they're not official products, but man, they look so good in front of the camera. And sometimes they're posing, they're posing, and then obviously this. I'm a sucker for soft goods. You know, I really love soft goods. Like some people, like it's a love and hate thing. I really love it because it really stands out in the photos.
Oh yeah.
And so, you know, when I think Toys Metaverse was a company that came out, same with 5K Toys. You know, when they released some of their stuff, and you've done some reviews with some third-party figs or unofficial products, and then they just look really, really good in front of the camera.
Yeah, they really do. It's amazing. I'm assuming it's because what money they're not spending on licensing, they're spending on the quality of the product. And I think they're also, since they're usually very small companies, they are not trying to make a product that's going to appeal to a wider group of people, that they can still focus on that and not having to worry about it, like be cheap enough for them to produce to sell 1 trillion of them versus only a few hundred of them. So it makes sense, and it works for us, and I'm sure it probably works for them too, because we're the select few buying them up. And but the thing is, like, when they make them, that's it. They've made them, and we're not getting another shipment, except for sometimes. There's been a couple, like there's one, that Netman, DB Toys Netman, that Spider-Man one. That one seems to be very popular. It seems like they're making more of that one.
Yeah, I think that one's doing a reissue. I was really happy with the Nightmare Batman that came out. I can't remember what the brand is.
Oh, the Muff Toys, right?
The Muff Toys.
I've got that on my shelf. I haven't opened it up yet. I think that one's.
Oh,
yeah.
That's really good, and also the Hush version of Superman, which is called I think it's by Chaos. I don't know if it's by Mark.
Oh yeah, right.
It's called the National Defender. The head sculpts, everything, just looking, the proportions look so good. Although they, some people have said that the quality control in some of the figures aren't the best. But touch wood.
Right. That is one thing.
That is one thing I've had no issues with it. But yeah, again, you know, in terms of the quality of what you receive, it's pretty good.
Yeah. I'm glad they exist too. Definitely.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, well, those are all the questions. I think we're almost at a time. Do you guys have any other questions before we let the man go?
Not really. I think we've asked everything.
Jared, you can talk about your channel, that you have a podcast every Friday.
Yeah, what's next?
Featuring people.
Right.
Sure. Okay.
What's next for you?
Well, as far as my channel is concerned, I'm always putting like 2 to 3 videos out per week, which usually I just focus on like one figure, and then there'll be a photo associated with it, on the other channels. But Sunday, I'm putting out one on the CT Toys, the new Mafex Batman bootleg. Then next week, I think I'm doing the Doom Dark Ages figure. I feel like there's something else I need to do. Oh, and I'm doing a the little Transformer brand called Blockies. Well, it's just, they do other things besides Transformers, but I'm doing some of those. I've got a really cool deal with that company that the first video will be next week. So that's really what's on the horizon, I think. But I've also been doing a weekly podcast kind of thing, and there is a top 10. I do a top 10 photos on every one of those, and it's basically the same kind of thing as the monthly challenges, but it's not really a challenge. It's just like top 10 photos of the week. So if you ever want a photo featured, you just post it on Instagram and use hashtag Sir Dork Top 10, tag me in it, and then.
Okay.
And not a lot of people have been using it, so there's a very high. If you post, there's a very high chance you could get on.
Sounds good.
Does it need to be a fresh photo, or do you have any criteria?
Well, the only criteria I'll really have is, it's got to be something that I guess I will feel is family friendly enough to put on the channel. I guess the only time that if I will say just straight up no, if it's just like drug references or something. But other than that, just like when you post it, just throw the hashtag in there. And I'll usually scroll from the recent week to find the top 10. So just anything. There's no themes, nothing, just top 10 photos.
Sounds good. I'll definitely jump in on that one.
All right. Awesome.
All right.
Can't wait.
Sounds good. All right. Well, if they've got no more questions, we'll try to wrap it up. I know Jared's probably got the car ready to go for more toy hunts. And
no, that's not till Sunday.
Nighttime. There's nighttime there.
It's nighttime.
It's Saturday morning. Yeah, I totally forgot.
But you're close, though.
But thank you for spending time with us today.
Thank you.
Answering some of the questions. It's been awesome, and obviously to finally meet you from a personal perspective.
Same here, man.
So yeah, looking forward to what more content you bring out.
Cool. I appreciate it so much, you guys. Thanks for having me on, and questions were so much fun. I appreciate you giving me an outlet to yap on about. Could never use enough of those, so I appreciate it so much.
You're welcome.
Sounds good. All right, Drew, Johnny, Jared.
Thanks. Have a good weekend, guys.
All right,
see you guys.
Bye. Good weekend.
Bye.